What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Moving to Florida show. For the first time ever, we are recording in person.
There you go. This is something new. We've been testing it out all morning.
Yeah, a bit of setup here. I'm Judson Osmond, by the way, my co-host, Mohit Badlani.
What's up?
So not only are we recording in person for the first time, we are on video as well. So if all goes well, this Friday, this should be up on our YouTube channel.
There you go. Yeah, kind of nervous being on video, but I'm good with it.
Mo, this is a bit different because I can't hear you in my headset.
Yeah, before we used to hear each other on each other's headset.
Right, yeah. So the way we normally record is basically like a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Right? It's a different program, but it's basically like a Zoom meeting. We can hear each other. We can hear each other in the headsets. If we have a guest, likewise, we can hear them in the headset. But this is different. All right, you're messing with buttons here on the computer.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I see this the headset button on here. So let me see if I can hear you from my headset.
Nope.
But I can't. I was like, let me push all the buttons here and see what happens.
Push all the buttons. No telling what we're going to mess up.
Exactly.
It took us about an hour to get this setup going, but we're figuring it out. So we're recording video on the GoPro. Hopefully, we will be smart enough to link this in, use the audio from our microphones instead of the built-in audio from the GoPro. But if not, it's got audio too, just not quite the same quality, right?
Yeah, we'll work on it and we'll perfect it and make things better.
That's right. We're working on growing the show. We're working on doing more things for you, doing different things, getting some guests on, starting to do more video content. We've talked about starting a TikTok.
Yeah.
Do some short form content. All about Florida, right?
All
that's
about Florida.
What you guys are here is Florida content. That's why you're listening in. That's why you check into the show, because ultimately you want to become Floridian with Mohit and I.
Yeah, so today's going to be a completely different episode. Like Justin mentioned, it's going to be more like our planning sessions. So this is what it looks like when we do plan stuff beforehand. It's usually like 2 to 3 minutes before the show.
Right.
Or sometimes we'll meet at like a coffee shop or something, and we'll jot some ideas down. We'll talk about the growth of the show and how we can help more clients, and how we can get more referrals too, so we can support our clients that are going to other parts of the state where we can't get to.
Yep, absolutely. And how we can grow the show. And just so you guys know, I mean, at the end of the show, when we wrap up, we always say, hey, if you need a realtor in Florida, reach out to us. There's a lot more to that. Mo knows the wrap up a little better than I do. I think he still reads it, though.
I still read it. I do read it, but I'm getting better and better at remembering a lot more. See, I still have it up here.
He pulls it up on the computer. He had it ready to go. But yeah, I mean, as far as this show, we do put a lot of time and effort into it. We're recording at least once a week, typically. Yeah. We got to come up with topic ideas, reach out to different guests, and we're not making money on the show. You may have noticed we have started running ads a little bit, and we'll talk about that certainly. Yeah. But the main source of monetization of the show for us is being your go-to real estate agents in Florida. Yep. So as always, if you need a realtor here in Florida, even if it's not an area we cover, we can still get you connected with a great agent that we know is going to take care of you. And in exchange, they're going to cut us, a referral fee out of the commission. Doesn't cost you anything, but you get taken care of. We get taken care of for being your realtors or resource here in Florida. Right. So just wanted to mention that as well.
And we do, and the referral agents that we send you to, we do the interviews ourselves. We want to make sure that that person can be able to help you and your needs, and be able to give you undivided attention, and be able to assist you in any way possible. So we do our due diligence, just like we would do for anybody that is selling a home. So you should do your due diligence and interview. Once you interview us, it's a done deal then.
There you go.
But if it's someone from out of state that wants to sell their home, and we try to reach out to a few agents out there and do an interview with them, or what we do is, if we already know somebody there that can help them out in that city or in that area, we'll definitely have them reach out to our clients.
Yep. Well, hey, Mo, speaking of a planning session, one thing that we've talked about that we're going to start trying to implement is getting some of those go-to agents that we already have in different markets, and try to start getting them to come on the show and talk about their areas, talk about what's going on and stuff like that. So in the future, we might start having some regular guests, or maybe even we'll call them a co-host. I don't know if they'll get that title.
They'll be co-hosts.
Co-host. But, we'll get some of these agents that are in different parts of the state that know their area, far better than we ever could, that can come on and talk to us about what they have going on there, what it's like to live there, all of those things. So, that's definitely something to look out for in the future. And then, Mo, you said you have maybe a couple of interviews lined up for us?
Yeah, so, I have some notes over in my my little gadget called a phone.
All right.
And I took some notes. You said 25 ideas. I couldn't come up with 25 ideas, but I did come up with a few. I wanted to get 2 interviews lined up. One is with a gentleman that I met a few weeks back. He works for PRMG, which is a lending company, and he's a loan officer, not only that, a loan manager, but he does a lot of stuff with the Hometown Heroes thing, and he knows a lot of information on that. So we want to make sure that our out-of-state and in-state clients know a lot more about this program, because it is a huge program, and I don't see it going away anytime soon. But if it does go away, you'll be the first to know.
Yeah. Well, so it was initially funded with, I think, $100 million.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything on how much is left in that?
I know they had to re-up. That's what I remember.
They've already re-upped.
I know they had to re-up. They've already given out quite a bit, if not more than $100 million right now. Okay. But, don't quote me on it. That's what I've heard.
Well, so we'll have to get this gentleman on. Maybe
he can confirm. Yeah, exactly. Okay. And then, as you know, we had a recent closing out in Tampa. Well, Judson knows, you guys don't, but we had a recent closing in Tampa with one of our referral clients and referral agents out there. So they had a good experience. It was a new construction home that they built out there, and I wanted to interview her and come on the show, tell us a little bit about her area, which is the Tampa Bay area region, and all the suburbs in that area that she takes care of. So I want you guys to at least understand that portion of the business, I guess, of how we refer out, and what does that referral agent look like and sound like, and it'll be a lot similar than how we are, basically.
Right.
The other interview I wanted to talk about was with an appraiser, because with things starting to shift, home prices and home values have changed as well. So I wanted to talk to an appraiser and see what they are doing to change with the market and change, I won't say change value, but or update their value and course correct the values of homes.
Right. Okay.
And an inspector as well. I wanted to talk to an inspector.
Home inspector.
Yeah,
home
inspector.
A big one.
It's very important that you guys understand. We've talked about it many times, what inspections should look like, 4-point wind mitigation. We've talked about all this quite a few times, but I wanted to make sure that you guys listen and hear directly from an inspector and see what they're or listen to what they're looking for in a house when they are going in to do an inspection. Yep,
for sure. Yeah, definitely. We need to get an inspector on here. We just met with an inspector earlier this week for the Weegleys. Shout out to them. They got their home under contract. They're working on moving down to Florida. But the home inspector they used was one that I had referred them to. And as we were sitting there talking to him, I was like, maybe he would be good guest to have on the show. So, he's a veteran and very well-rounded and knows a lot about the building codes and all of that stuff, which was kind of what he was talking to Mo and I about. And, I think he might be a good one. So,
he'll be a good fit. Absolutely.
Have to check in and see if we can get him on the show.
Yeah, and I want to, just like you said, he was very knowledgeable. He knew exactly what was wrong with the house and what was great about the house. If it wasn't a big deal, he didn't make it a big deal. You make a mountain out of a molehill. Right. He didn't do that. He was very like, okay, this is an issue, but it's very easily corrected. It might cost a few bucks here and there, and you can get it done. So if there's a buyer that's coming in and sitting through an inspection, and you have an inspector saying, oh my God, this is this wrong, this is that wrong, and get really excited, and then that buyer is, hesitant to move forward past inspections.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to get scared off by an inspection, which is honestly, it's kind of easy to do when you look at these, it's this 80-page inspection report, and it's got all of these things in red. All of these things are wrong with the house. It can scare you off, but just like Mo said, a lot of those things are like, hey, this is maybe a little bit of an issue, something you want to be aware of, but it's not a reason to back out of the deal, to not buy the house. It's not something that should scare you off. So
right.
Definitely, I think, again, having an inspector on would be a really good thing to kind of clue us in on some of those things that maybe look like a big deal, but shouldn't scare you off. And then maybe the inverse of that too. If there are some things out there that you don't think are that big of a deal on the surface, but they could be a major issue.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, that would be great to have an inspector on. And remember, folks, in the state of Florida, it's all as-is contracts. So even if you don't have to do an inspection, but if you do an inspection and there are some things on it, we always do our level best to take it back to the seller's agent and negotiate something or another so you can get those items fixed. But remember, it's as is. They don't have to fix it. But you don't have to purchase it during the inspection period. You get your deposit back. Yeah.
And so here in Florida, it's all of our contracts are, I would say 99%, because there is another contract.
Yeah, right? There is 99%.
But 99% of them are written on the as is contract. So you're buying the home as is, but you have a right to inspect and cancel if you find something that you don't like about the home. Right. Which really, the way the verbiage is written in the contract, you can cancel for any reason. It's at the buyer's sole discretion. Right. So I've told clients before, like, well, you stubbed your toe walking in the door. Oh, canceling this deal. I mean, you can. Right. You really don't have to give a reason. As long as you're inside of your inspection period, you can cancel.
Exactly.
Now, what some people do is, and what happens, it's common, you do an inspection. If you do an inspection and like, hey, there's some issues, but it's nothing major, nothing was a surprise, then that's not a reason to renegotiate or to cancel. But like you find some major deal, like you thought the roof was good and the inspector tells you, no, it's at end of life, it's got to be replaced within a year. Well, okay, that's a reason to, either cancel the deal or more than often what happens is try to renegotiate. You go back to the sellers and say, hey, roof needs to be replaced. We didn't expect that. We need a new roof put on or a credit so we can do a new roof, whatever the situation is.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you keep your options open. If you love the house and this is your almost perfect home, remember a perfect home is a custom home. So this is almost perfect home, and you really love it. I mean, we're going to do our level best to negotiate the best terms for you guys.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hello, I'm Imogen, and I have a story to tell you. It concerns rabbits, a couple of cats, a fox, and something called a slow loris, which is a funny-looking primate with big eyes. The story in question has a kidnapping, a daring escape, and later I think there's a cow made of chocolate. Oh, and the story is called Molly Whiskers and the Blue Tentacle. And there's more info about the show at mollywhiskers.com.
Yep, for sure. All right, so what else do you have, Mo? Because I got to go back here. You said I said 25. Bring 25 topics.
25 topics. I was like, all right, 25 topics. Let's see if we can come up with a few more. When did we have
this conversation?
Huh?
When did we have this conversation?
It was a text message that you sent out. Let me pull up the text.
I think I'm at 2 to 5.
Oh, 2 to 5. It said 25. I'm like 25.
I put Mo to work over here.
Or I may have read it wrong because it says 25 plus minutes of episode. Okay, yeah, we got to do 25. Before we used to do episodes about 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. We're trying to do more 30-minute episodes, 40-minute episodes because of the fact that we want to try to keep you guys engaged as well. And our topics are becoming more and more intensive as well. Yeah. So we have a lot more things to talk about.
Well, we just did the one, recently about the buying process and what the funds look like. And that was really just Mo and I going, okay, here's something. It's come up in other things. Here's something we need to talk about. And next thing we know, that was almost an hour-long episode.
Yeah,
and it was really us it wasn't pre-planned or pre-scripted. It was just like, hey, let's talk about this. And there you go. We talked for an hour.
Yeah, and sometimes we can ramble, mostly me.
Fair
but, we try to have some nuggets in there for you guys.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
I also want to talk about all the new communities also still coming up
Yes.
there. I mean, even though things have shifted and things have slowed down, prices are starting to level off a little bit. There are things that there are still new communities coming up. New construction is not stopping, man. It's still new communities, new areas, They're starting to build more and more of those. Communities inside of communities, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. Well, I think this is a perfect transition because you told me earlier before we hit record you've been spending more time in Lake Nona.
Yeah, I've been spending a lot more time there.
And we've mentioned Lake Nona on the show before, maybe talked about it a little bit, but let's take a little bit deeper dive.
Yeah.
Can you, because I'm not super familiar with Lake Nona. Like, I know where it is.
Yeah.
I know what it is. I've been in the area a few times looking at homes or whatever, but I've not spent any major amount of time there.
So basically, Lake Nona is known as Medical City, and it's on the southeast side of Orlando. Right. So it's close to the. Let me fix my mic. I can see my mic turning over here. So I was like, let me see what's going on here.
Technical difficulties.
Say a little bit. We're still getting adjusted over here, folks.
We're figuring it out.
Yeah, there we go. All right, sounds good. You probably hear those cracking noises. We apologize for that. So it's basically, going back to it, it's basically closer to the airport. So it's between the airport and St. Cloud.
Okay, yeah, so it's just south of the airport, right?
Yeah, just south of the airport and north of St. Cloud.
Okay.
So but it's a pretty big area. So, and it's from Meadowwoods, when Meadowwoods ends, which is also a part of Orlando, that's when Lake Nona begins.
Okay.
And it goes all the way around. But it's I feel like I'm in a totally different city when I go in there. I mean, they've really, really done up a fantastic job setting it up for Medical City. More offices are coming out. Disney's headquarters is coming over there now, too. So there's a lot of things and they're still building a lot more buildings out there. Nemours is out there for a children's hospital. St. Jude, I believe, is out there too, but I could be wrong. I know there's a whole bunch of doctors' offices and doctors that live out there.
So Medical City is
Medical
the nickname. But I've also seen, is it Innovation?
Yeah.
Innovation. It's not Innovation City. What is it?
It's Innovation Way.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's more like.
Is that an area within Lake Nona?
Yeah, it's an area within Lake Nona. So Lake Nona, I think, covers about 2 or 3 zip codes, but there's one main zip code that Lake Nona covers, and then there's the surrounding zip codes which connect to Lake Nona, which are still part of quote unquote Lake Nona, but you know, it's like that Randall Park area. The Innovation Way is also part of Lake Nona. There's the Laureate Park, which is the biggest part of Lake Nona, which is where most of the housing is. It's Laureate Park.
A lot of new construction in Laureate Park, right?
Yes, okay. A lot of new construction out there. I think they're pretty much done, and so now they're starting to find more land around it. So
right, out towards St. Cloud too. I know I've heard of, I think Sunbridge.
Sunbridge, yeah. That's also the same developer that developed Islesworth. Islesworth is, I don't know if we've ever talked about Islesworth. Islesworth is the premier neighborhood in Windermere.
Yeah, Windermere is one of the most expensive zip codes in the Orlando metro.
Yeah.
Islesworth is where Tiger Woods' house was.
Yeah.
Where Shaq's house was.
Yep.
That I think they finally sold for like $14 million.
Yeah.
It started at like 20-something million.
Yep. A lot of wealthy people live in that neighborhood. I think you have to go through 17 security gates to get
in there. I've still never been in Islesworth. I've never been in the community.
I have a buddy of mine who lives in there. He's a doctor, and obviously he's a doctor.
Very successful one.
Very successful.
I have a client that was looking in Windermere recently. We did a lot of looking around. They mentioned Islesworth, and I started looking, and the cheapest house in Islesworth, it was on the market, was $2.5 million.
Yeah, I was going to say $3 million. I was going to say $3 million bucks.
Yeah, and it wasn't a huge house. I mean, they're all big houses when we're talking about this type of property, but it was like maybe 3,500 square feet.
Yeah,
for $2.5 million.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's some properties in there that the land is worth probably more than the property. We've talked about that in the past, where the land is worth more.
Somebody's going to buy that house in Islesworth and just bulldoze it and put 40,000 square foot there.
Exactly. And So it's the same developer that developed Islesworth, that developed Laureate Park, and now is developing Sunbridge.
Sunbridge is supposed to be huge, though.
It's
right?
really big.
Yeah,
it's
a lot
really
of
big.
homes, and then like pocket parks within it. I think some commercial stuff within.
Schools will be in there. Yeah. Commercial will be in there. There's going to be a wildlife type of park. And when I went in there, I was like, and they were talking about this. All I was thinking was, Judson doesn't really like this place. It's all natural and nature walks and stuff like that.
I remember hearing about it, and I'm like, man, this sounds cool. I gotta go check it out. And I don't make it to St. Cloud often, or Lake Nona, so it's kind of filling in that gap between Lake Nona and St. Cloud, right?
And I mean, since you mentioned earlier on the show, there for TikTok, we're gonna go explore these areas and put it on TikTok for you guys to see, not only just TikTok, but YouTube and all these other platforms. But yeah, I know there's like 17 billion people on TikTok. There's not even that many people in the world.
Yeah, more people. Might be a couple of fake accounts.
Yeah, some robot accounts in there. But
the Moving to Florida show is not on TikTok yet. But we're working on it, guys.
We're working on it.
This is our foray into video.
I mean, I'm on TikTok, mine personally, so you can look me up, and Judson's on TikTok too.
Drop your handle.
It's just Mohit Badlani.
Okay, yeah. I'm on TikTok. I have an account, but I'm just a consumer at this point. I'm working on it. I do want to create one. For me, it will be, and we can transition to this in a minute when we finish up Lake Nona, but I want to talk about this area that we're in here. And by this area, I mean Clermont, Wellness Way, which is kind of a new area that's coming. And then also Winter Garden, Horizon West, all of that stuff too. Yeah.
And I've also noticed that we'll talk about it when we get to Clermont and that area. Sure. So so that's basically Lake Nona for you. They have their own. I mean, you really don't have to leave Lake Nona to go to like restaurants and bars and stuff because they have everything there. It's all there.
I know. I've been seeing a lot of things about Boxy Park.
Boxy Park, which is a food hall. That is actually one of my topics. Why are these food halls popping up all over the place? Why are they become so popular? So we're going to talk about that as well.
Yeah.
And so Boxy Park is one of the.
Is it food trucks at Boxy Park, or is it like the containers?
It's containers, so it's something different.
So like shipping containers that they've taken and they've made into like
kitchens,
restaurants around.
And kitchens.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. The cool concept that they have over there. But yeah, like these food halls are popping up everywhere, so that's becoming very, very popular these days. But yeah, so Lake Nona has one. They have a version of Top Golf over there. I forget the name of it.
Is it Drive Shack?
Drive Shack.
Okay.
So there's Drive Shack.
Yeah, we have a few of those around the Orlando area.
Exactly. And what else do they have? They have quite a few things.
Lake Nona too. One of the things that I see is a lot of technology out there. There's a lot of tech out there. Yeah, like they've got some sort of driverless car robo-taxi thing going on out there. Have you actually seen those?
I have not. I have been there many times. I'm yet to bump into one.
It's I wanted to say the name Boxy, but that's probably Boxy Park I'm thinking about. But it's kind of like a van, right? It looks kind of like a van, and I've seen videos of them. Yeah, and they just have a route that they run, but it's totally driverless. It's robotic, and they're working on expanding it and adding. But I mean, that Lake Nona is like the test for it. That's where they're testing at and running these.
So anything with the updated technology, I think they're going to come to only two cities. Is why they're Winter Garden or Lake Nona. Yeah, they're going to test those out. Or Celebration. Celebration was the first one to put the Google Fiber. When I was there in early 2000, they were testing out the fibers.
Yeah, that's everywhere now.
Yeah, now that's everywhere. Yeah. So usually Lake Nona is one of the first cities or first areas because it still falls under Orlando. So Lake Nona is not an incorporated city, I don't believe. But I do know that it's part of Orlando City metro area,
so
Orange
if you
County.
live in Lake Nona, you actually have an Orlando address.
Correct.
Right? Right. But probably like Celebration, if you write Lake Nona, a piece of mail might say Lake Nona instead of Orlando. Same zip code, it's still going to get to you.
It's still going to get to you. But I mean, you either put Lake Nona or Orlando is still going to, you're still going to get your mail.
Okay, hopefully. I got one more, and I wanted to pull this up so that I make sure that I have everything right here. Okay. But they're also getting a vertiport in Lake Nona.
What is that?
Have you heard this?
No.
So it is it's kind of like an airport, but it's vertical takeoff vehicles. not
What?
helicopters. So, I mean, here it is. You guys will have to go look this up. Tavistock, by the way, is the development company.
Yep. Tavistock is
out in Lake Nona that, like you said, Islesworth and all of that. I think their headquarters is in Windermere.
Yeah, I think their headquarters is Islesworth.
But yeah, the future of transportation has arrived in Lake Nona, coming to Lake Nona by 2025. It's these electric vertical takeoff vehicles. There it is, eVTOL, electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft.
Nuts.
So I don't know where I don't know where you're gonna go when you fly out of Lake Nona.
You can only stay in Lake Nona.
But I think that they've talked about having some of these landing pads on rooftops of buildings. So like there'll probably be one somewhere in downtown Orlando, so you can fly from Lake Nona to downtown Orlando, or maybe to downtown, Tampa, something like that. So vertical takeoff, it goes, and yeah.
So wouldn't that be like some kind of FCC type of rule where I'm sure they've come up with?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they have to have their aerial clearances and all of that stuff.
Is it going to be manned or is it unmanned? Or you get to drive it?
I don't know that part. Maybe we need to go visit.
We're gonna go. Hey, here's another interview for you guys. So
here's the range. It's showing Orlando, actually all the way down to Miami, and as far north as Jacksonville, that these vehicles will go. So yeah, it's kind of meant to be like a city to city thing that it'll do.
That is so cool.
Cool stuff coming to.
Hey man, I mean, as long as we don't have to get on the I-4 traffic, I'm good with it.
There you go. That's the whole goal. Stay off of I-4. Once voted the most dangerous highway in the United States.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I think that's all I had on Lake Nona. Obviously, I know you know more about it, but look at that. I brought a topic to
There you go.
All right, so we mentioned Clermont and Wellness Way.
Yeah.
And then I kind of tied that into Winter Garden and Horizon West. So one of the things I do as a real estate agent, I look at a lot of new construction around our area, where things are going. That's how we ended up in the community that I live in now, because Clermont's getting, it's called the Olympus Project, and it's a village it's a commercial project based on the athletes that we have in Florida. So we have a lot of athletes in Clermont. It's known as the Choice of Champions. So they're doing this sporting venue, basically.
Oh, cool.
And I don't know if you know all about
No,
Olympus,
I don't know anything about it.
But they're going to have I think it's 5,400 seat general purpose, multi-purpose arena for all kinds of sports.
Wow.
3,500 seat soccer specific arena. They just announced they're getting 2 ice hockey rinks. Maybe a training one and one that's an arena for actually viewing. Yeah, ice hockey. So I don't know the guy's name, but the founder of the Tampa Bay Lightning apparently was a big hockey star.
Yeah.
And so his name's going on that building.
I see.
So I mean, yeah, we'll have ice hockey just up the street here.
That is so cool. I mean,
and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen stuff that they're going to have like Olympic swimming pools, and it's all TV ready, so they can actually film sporting events on television right here in Clermont.
So cool.
And they're building all kinds of neighborhoods around this.
Okay.
But this whole area is going to be called Wellness Way. It's been planned since the 90s, really.
Yeah.
Which, if you look at Horizon West over in Winter Garden, booming now.
Yep.
Thousands and thousands of people have moved there over the last several years. To me, this area that we're in now is Horizon West 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. It's just starting. The neighborhood that I bought a home in that I live in now is the first, that we're recording in right now.
Yeah, that we're recording in right now.
It's one of the first, it is the first neighborhood in Wellness Way.
Yeah.
I know of at least 9 other neighborhoods planned around here.
Yep.
And all of that stuff takes time to come to fruition.
Yeah.
We've got an 1,850 home neighborhood over here that they have broken ground on. They're already moving dirt there.
Okay.
I mean, that's what we mean by breaking ground. They're getting their infrastructure in. So I expect homes over there will go on sale soon. David Weekley's putting a neighborhood inside of Olympus.
Oh, really?
So the Olympus project is 243 acres. They're building luxury apartments right now. So those that you probably saw on the way in.
Right.
287 luxury apartments. Right behind it, David Weekley's building a community, I think 318 homes, if I remember correctly.
That's a lot of homes.
I think that'll kind of be an Oakland Park style neighborhood.
Right.
Oakland Park, over in Winter Garden, front porch living. Those are craftsman style. So they're saying the David Weekley community will be more of an athletic focused village, of course, to go along with Olympus.
Right.
So I don't know exactly what that means.
Right.
Throughout this whole area, through all these neighborhoods I'm talking about, they're doing a paved bike path. Just like they have in Horizon West.
Okay.
So as Mo came into my house, so it was his first time at my home.
Yep.
We've been here since November. We've been here, what's that going to be? Wow, almost 10 months.
It's almost 10 months,
But this is his first time actually visiting here in my home because we're always on our Zoom meetings doing our podcast. But he said, wow, what a great view, looking out back. So that lake back there.
Yeah.
So we're kind of up on a hilltop. We're looking down on a lake. All of that's getting developed. But one of the things that I've found is all the way around that lake, all of the homes are there's a neighborhood down below ours that's going to be built, another 280 something homes, 285 I think.
Right.
Homes there. There will be some lakefront homes.
Okay.
And then across the lake, they're building a lot of homes over there. Haven't seen final answers on how many, but a Pulte community, probably a Del Webb community that's gated. There's two smaller lakes back there, but I think they'll have some lakefront homes. Anyway, what I'm getting at, I read all of the planning documents for Wellness Way,
right.
and there is a 15-foot easement around the lake, so they're putting that bike path all the way around the lake.
Oh, cool.
So, I mean, for me, like, that's exciting. Like, hey, we'll be able to walk out of our front door, go down there, walk around the lake, ride bikes around the lake.
Fantastic.
There'll be little pocket parks back over this way, as I point. We're doing an audio podcast, but we are on YouTube, by the way.
We'll be on YouTube.
So back over this way to the east, back towards Winter Garden, there's going to be a county park. So if you've seen the hidden Mickey or the Mickey Forest, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. If you look on a Google map and you just drop guys, if you're following along with us, put Lake Louisa State Park in Clermont.
Yeah.
And then if you look off to the east of it, you'll see a forest of Mickey. It's a Mickey Mouse shape. That whole area is designated as a county park. I don't know how big it is, but looking at the different stuff, it's got to be probably 50 acres.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big area. So that's going to be a county park. And then again, I know of 9 other communities other than this one, probably pushing 10,000 homes coming to Wellness Way.
Yeah.
It's going to take time.
It's going to take time.
Right?
It definitely is.
More commercial coming up here, of course. You've got the arenas and stuff that I mentioned, but of course there will be doctors' offices focused on athletics. There'll be some nice like dining and entertainment options.
Sure.
All of that stuff will come down the road.
Yes.
But it's all Wellness Way is what it's called.
It's all going to be you guys.
And Schofield Road that connects over to Winter Garden, it's in the process of being paved right now. So, like, my office is in Winter Garden. It takes me 25 minutes to get there right now.
Yep.
Once that road's paved, 12 minutes.
Yep.
Straight through.
Yeah, it took me about 22 minutes to get to your home from my home.
Right.
Right. But
once that's paved, it'll be less than 10.
10 minutes, I'll be in your place,
There are other connections coming through, too.
Yeah.
So I've got a future roadmap that's going to, we're going to connect up to Harwood Marsh up here.
Yep.
Hancock Road's going to come all the way down to Sawgrass Bay.
Yep.
Which Sawgrass Bay is also getting connected through to Horizon West
yeah.
at Ovation, and then that means Disney.
Yep.
So all of those homes are, I'm 30 minutes to Disney right now, but once all that stuff's done, maybe 15.
Wow. It's going to be insane here.
So that's what I want to do my TikTok on. We were talking about doing TikTok is... as you can see, I know a lot about this area. I haven't even talked about those other like 8 communities that I know about.
Right.
And so I want to go in and talk about all of those, and maybe we can do a more in-depth episode at some point.
We'll
on
definitely
all
do
of
that.
This stuff.
Yeah. My parents are closing on their Clermont house next. And at the end of this month.
And they did new construction as well.
They did new construction in a 55 and up with Taylor Morrison, and I don't know if that's part of the setup that they have. I think it's called Esplanade.
Okay, yeah.
So for which you were mentioning, I forget the name of it. It was the
Wellness Way.
The Wellness Way stuff. Yeah. But it's I think your Wellness Way is around.
No, that's north of here. Yeah, so Wellness Way basically goes from where we are on Highway 27 all the way through to Winter Garden. So it's north to Hartwood Marsh, but it's got these weird borders, and I don't know, the government
I think my parents
was involved
is in
it somewhere. No, at Esplanade, they're not going to be. They're not going to be in Wellness Way. So it goes all the way. It's just a Hartwood Marsh up here.
Okay,
but like you've got the Dreamfinders community. Hartwood Reserve. Not in Wellness Way.
Really?
It kind of is, because especially once
you're
that
borderline there.
It literally the border goes up to it, and I don't know what the ins or outs of
that would
being
be
in Wellness Way or not are, but they're in the same general area. But then you've got there's another community called McKinnon Groves that they're trying to put in on Hartwood Marsh, and they're getting a lot of pushback on it. There's actually a Facebook group that's like Stop. I think it's Boyd Development Company is one of the Winter Garden companies that does a lot of development in the area, and they own that land. They're trying to put it in, but right next to it, there's an area called the Avalon Rural Settlement.
Right.
And in this rural settlement, it's 1 home per 5 acres.
Really?
And that's been around for a long, long time.
Right.
And it borders that. And so they're saying, hey, you're going to drive all this extra traffic through. So there's a lot of resistance to that particular community.
Right.
But then because of that one community, the whole Wellness Way thing is getting pushed back too. But I mean, again, like I said, it's been planned since the 90s that they've been planning this.
Yep.
It's happening, and
it's bound to
gonna
happen.
come along. I mean, you've got all this commercial
happen.
development coming. But yeah, I mentioned like the land behind our home here. I've seen a few different things, but all of that is on commercial. Fortunately, like I said, houses back towards the lake. And then there'll be the walking paths and all that. I know all of this stuff is going to be done very well, right?
It'll be done.
Right now, we are living in a construction zone.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
But you're almost done, too. I mean, I think you have, what?
Yeah, our little loop is almost done. There's
It's
a
all
couple
done,
more
yeah.
houses, and then the rest of it's pushing back this way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only like 150 homes completed in here.
Yeah.
And there's 578 in this community.
Oh, really?
So they're
so the
they've
third
cleared,
of the way.
They've
A
cleared
fifth of the way.
land for phase 3 and 4 already, but they're still selling in phase 2. They're building in phase 2 right now.
Well, if my home doesn't get done, I think I might make that move.
No, you just come on out here. Yeah. Well, that's the good thing. By the time your home is done, the
Right.
whole neighborhood will be done, and you won't live in a construction zone.
Yeah, no, I still have a feeling they'll still be constructing in there. But yeah, no, these are really, really cool stuff that's coming out into Clermont. I mean, I was kind of, because I guess I stay in my bubble over in Winter Garden, Windermere, Dr. Phillips. I know what's going on over there. Even Dr. Phillips, man alive, that O-Town that's building over there, which is a shopping center and entertainment center in Dr. Phillips.
I think I've heard the name, but tell us about it.
It's right there on Darrell Carter. So Darrell Carter is a street that used to connect only halfway. Now they've completed it. So it connects from Dr. Phillips Boulevard, Lake Buena Vista to the premium outlets. Okay. And it's a straight shot. And you can go straight to the airport. Jump on 417, go straight to the airport. But yeah, before he would stop at a certain point, Darrell Carter. But now, left and right and behind and on Lake Buena Vista, east of Lake Buena Vista, it's like they've flattened all this land that was there, and now it's all high-end restaurants, mid-sized restaurants, fast food restaurants, shopping, Target.
Of course, you got to have a Target in there.
Five Below. All these plazas coming in. And apartment complexes on top of that are coming in too with that. Right. So that was one of my other topics that we're going to go into depth with in a future episode is where are these apartment complexes coming from?
There are so many apartments being built. I mean, I just mentioned the one right here north of us, you know. And I mean, if you drive down like Avalon and Winter Garden, it's like there's a new apartment complex. There's a new apartment complex.
Yeah, just left and right.
There's a new apartment complex.
Exactly. I'm in one of those too.
Yeah.
But
Mo, how long have you been in that apartment?
It's going to be 19 months.
19 months.
Yeah, it's going to be 19 months.
When you close on the new home or coming up soon? It's going to be
coming up soon. When I close, it will be in November, so I'll probably be in 20 months.
Okay.
Yeah. 21 months.
And how long was that supposed to be?
We'll be back after a quick break.
Imagine taking your generosity to the next level, impacting more lives and leaving a godly legacy for generations to come. On the Kingdom Investor Podcast, we showcase business leaders who have moved from success to significance, sharing how they use worldly wealth for kingdom impact. Discover how they grew in generosity, impacted more lives, and built godly legacies. You'll find motivation, inspiration, and practical steps to grow as a kingdom investor. Come join us on the journey by simply clicking the link and hitting subscribe.
I was supposed to be in that house in 6 to 8 months.
Wow.
That never happened.
Yeah.
Never
I mean,
happened.
construction delays happen, especially over the last few years. I know most builders now are telling us, well, you were at Bella Collina recently.
Yeah.
They said 11 to 12 months.
11 to 12 months.
You know,
and that's normal. I mean, to hear anything above 8 to 9 months, 11 to 12, fine, it's okay. 2 years almost, it's kind of
That's a
unheard of.
long
Yeah,
build
unless there's
process.
like a natural disaster of some sort or anything like that, then it's understandable. But to be honest with you, it's not normal. But I mean,
you're going to have a nice home.
I'm going to have a nice home with the nice equity in it.
Yeah. I don't remember what floor plan it was, but I was at a builder. I don't remember what builder it was now. The other day, I guess it was Dreamfinders because you're building with Dreamfinders.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I was at a Dreamfinders community, and I remember walking through, and it was like something with the bonus, and I was like, oh, I wonder if this is Mo's floor plan.
So mine is the Arlington with the bonus.
Arlington, okay. No, it was like, it wasn't A, it was like Anna Maria.
It's Anna Maria.
Okay,
Anna Maria with the bonus. Yeah, that's their I wouldn't say flagship home, but that's their most popular floor plan. Is because it has a beautiful kitchen with a huge island. Yeah, that Anna Maria Island. Which, by the way, they let us have in Arlington.
Nice. Okay.
So the island that I'm talking about is the kitchen island, folks.
Anna Maria Island also
Anna Maria
is a place
Island
in Florida.
Which, by the way, was voted #1 beach in Florida now.
Really?
Yeah, I just read that somewhere, and it was voted #1 beach in Florida. We might have to get somebody out there and talk to an agent who lives in that area.
Hey, if you're in Anna Maria Island, give us a shout.
Exactly. So that's what's going on with my house. We'll see how that turns out. Okay. But yeah, as you mentioned, there's so much new stuff coming around, more things for people to do. But I remember Clermont as just a hilly,
we do have hills.
Green, beautiful, fast streets that you don't have to, go down to 35, 40 miles an hour. You can go 55, 60 on Highway 27. And I think that's going to slow down a little bit with all this construction that's happening and all this new innovations.
They just recently installed the red light outside of our neighborhood.
I saw that. I was like,
they're not active yet, but yeah, they put another red light in. Dude, in the morning, if you got to turn left out of the neighborhood, it takes forever.
Really?
Just for traffic to clear so you can get all the way across.
And people are going like 55, 60, 65 miles
they're
an hour.
Coming 65 through here. Speed limit is 55, but they're going 65, 70 all day long. Yeah, for sure.
It's such a fun drive. I used to enjoy coming on Highway 27 and going, and I still do, and just going up and down.
We've got hills out here.
You got hills out here. It's so much fun. It's so much green around.
I'll tell you, Clermont's the only place that I've seen houses in Florida where, like, I was looking at a house recently on MLS, and I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, something was funny about the photography. I couldn't place exactly what it was. It was a pretty good price. I was looking for a client, and I'm like, why did the agent take the picture that way on the front of the house, right? And of course, they didn't use a professional photographer.
Right, they used your iPhone.
They used their iPhone to take pictures, and. So I pulled it up on Google Maps. You got the street view, and I'm like, oh, okay, the street is like here, and the house is down here. No. So like the street view, you're looking at the roof of the house. From Google way. Street View, you're looking down on the house. So like the driveway, like you pull off the road and like go down.
You got to dip down.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, nope, take that one off the list. Because like, can you imagine it's the middle of the night and some drunk driver goes off the road and ends up in your roof?
On your roof?
Like, no, thank you.
No, I don't want that. That got to be a hazard of some sort.
Right?
I mean, didn't anybody think of that when when they constructed that home? But so going back to our purpose of this is because we want to show you guys how we plan, and once we get into planning, we go into conversation, and it comes into a show.
And then I go, all right, shut up, save it for the show. Every time before we hop on our Zoom meetings, Mo's like, hey, so what you been up to? And I'm like, wait,
don't ask me that question.
Because there's always inevitably there's something funny, some anecdote or whatever.
Especially since we're in the same field as well, we can go off on many different avenues. So we would like to save that for the show for you guys.
Yep. And if you like that, leave us a review. Let us know that. And if you don't like it, we're not the Moving to Florida show. I don't know. Leave somebody else a review. Yeah, well, I think this was good. This is,
that was cool.
Kind of a test. This is our first time recording. We're recording video and audio at the same time, but our first time recording in person.
Yeah.
I do have a brand new wall color in my office.
Yeah, you do.
I've been talking about doing this for a long time, but we darkened up the office. Still working on the decor, but we're going for a dark academia theme. Is what my wife says it is. But I don't know, something about this color just gives me energy. Like, I like it coming in here.
It's nice. It has
a good
feel.
It's like going into a different, it's not just your standard, like, boring white wall room.
Yeah. No, and I was telling Judson that I was like, dude, this room is really killer. I like the color. It feels like a a muscular office. You know what I mean?
There you go. Some machismo.
Some
going on here.
machismo office right here. All we need to put is a couple of those soundproof walls. So when we start recording more and more in here,
right as we get louder. Well, my son's bedroom is across the hall.
Yeah, we don't want to
He's in
disturb
school
him
right now.
Yeah.
So right up here is where the whiskey cabinet's going to go.
Oh,
we
there
gotta
you
get
go.
Some whiskey in here. We'll do another happy hour episode.
Absolutely. Since we're coming here more often to record, we are definitely going to do that for sure.
There we go. Any other planning topics, ideas?
Oh, we got
thoughts?
a ton. We got a ton more coming up. I'm just going to run by my list before we close
we
out
wrap
here.
it up.
Before we wrap up here. Now, what's coming in Orlando? New communities, inspector interview, appraiser interview. Our favorite local restaurants, food halls popping up left and right. So we talked about that earlier. Yeah. Building your own custom home here and what that looks like.
That's a good one.
10 free things to do in Florida. Theme park updates, because I know they're always
They're
updating.
building new theme parks,
Yeah, they're building new theme parks. FSBOs for sale by owners. So we're going to talk about that and how we can help you if you become a for sale by owner and what we can do to help promote your home. Well, we'll go dive into the deep in that
Dive
episode.
into that later. Okay.
Yeah. Interview with the title company as well. Title company closer. Because we
You
don't
talk
use the
about
term
title insurance. Nobody knows what title insurance
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
So we can talk about that. Okay.
Even I don't know. I mean, we know what it is, but it's like, okay, what entails? What's the biggest purpose of the title insurance? So,
Right. Yeah.
so we can talk to a title specialist. Fall in Florida, 'cause we are coming to fall right now. We're about to hit fall any moment.
Yeah. And that just means that it's pumpkins and it's still hot.
Yeah. There's our episode for fall in Florida.
Done.
And how being a Floridian can save you money.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Why are so many apartment buildings coming up?
Yeah.
Adding a pool. So I want to interview a pool company and take you guys through the steps of building your own pool in your home.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good one. That wasn't 25.
25. That wasn't 25. That was
That's
a lot.
okay.
That was at 25.
It's way more than I have. So
I think we
what?
have like 8 to 10 topics.
Here's another one we haven't talked about. Have one of our listeners on who has now moved to Florida.
Yeah.
And we know a couple. We got a couple of you guys in mind that have actually come to us, and we helped you buy your home here in Florida.
Yep.
So if you're listening and you want to come on the show, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. We would love to have them on our show. And I know they've asked, like, hey, when are we going to talk about this? When are we going to talk about that?
Yeah. So, well, maybe now that we have an in-person setup, we could all meet up here and
absolutely
pour a whiskey drink and
I'm sure
do another happy hour show.
I'm sure our friends in Clermont would enjoy that.
There you go. Yeah, man. So I think this is a fun setup. It's going to be fun recording here in person. I'm sure we'll still do our Zoom meetings. Buzzsprout is the app that we use for that. I'm sure we'll still do those.
Yeah.
But we have at least some sort of setup. We figured out after much troubleshooting how to record in person. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to keep growing the show and start doing some new things. Start doing more of our video content.
Absolutely.
With that, can you do the wrap up?
Let's do the wrap up. We want to hear from you now. You can reach us at our Moving to Florida show hotline by dropping a voicemail or texting us to 407-900-5859 or drop us a DM on Facebook and or Instagram at Moving to Florida Show. And for Twitter, our handle is at Moving to FL Show. If you'd like to connect with us, if you have any questions or if you need a realtor here in Florida, you can reach us at movingtofloridashow@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to the show if you like our content so that it would automatically download to your device and get you one step closer to moving to Florida.
And one last thing, Mo. If you're listening to this show on a podcast player, be sure to hop over on YouTube, search for the Moving to Florida show so that you can see what we look like, see what the setup looks like, see if you like it on YouTube.
Sounds good. All right, folks.